Welcome back to Crime Stoppers, our WBTV News special. A savage beating caught on tape, 4-on-1. A victim targeted at random by a Charlotte gang. Now, who these guys are and what police are doing to stop them, that's coming up in just a few minutes. But first, a look at these crooks. Pictures from a surveillance camera. Here's a scene. Imagine you walked into a convenience store for a soda after work. Suddenly, two men with guns rob the place. But we're not exactly dealing with rocket scientists here, a couple of amateurs, and one of those guys makes a crucial mistake. My next Crime Stoppers report, what a crook did that led to his undoing.
This is a T-shirt of some sort around his neck. He came in with it covering his face.
Detective P.J. Wilson showed me surveillance pictures from inside this Circle K store located on a busy corner next to UNC Charlotte's campus. Two men using T-shirts or towels as masks point guns at the clerk and clean out the cash register. But one of the bandits makes a rookie mistake, dropping his mask, and the unblinking cameras got him.
It wasn't great video, but it was good enough where we could recognize his facial features.
Detective Wilson says he showed those facial features around to other officers and got a hit.
We started getting some intel from officers that worked this particular location.
That intel led to a name, Christian Stafford Green, an 18-year-old, arrested 3 times in 16 months. Under pressure from his family, Green turned himself in this week. So this is the guy who turned himself in, but right. This is his accomplice.
Right.
And he also has something over his face.
He's got a kind of a baby bluish aqua, we don't know if it's a towel or a T-shirt, covering his face, holding it with one hand. He never dropped it down too far.
These guys don't look like professional bandits, do they? I mean, you got towels and T-shirts on their faces.
No, not what you typically, they did a poor job of concealing themselves, and I feel pretty confident we're going to figure out who this guy is real soon, too.
Detective Wilson pretty confident, but he could use your help. Here's a description of the man in the picture. He's tall, thin, dreadlocks, between 18 and 22 years old. If you know him, call Crime Stoppers, 704-334-1600. You could be eligible to earn up to $1,000. Now, those guys, though, just petty crooks. A minute ago, we saw some really violent video of a beatdown outside a local gas station.
Yeah, Paul, those were members of a Charlotte gang called the Asian Boys. Those guys, plus gangs like the Vice Lords and the Graveyard Gangster Crips, aren't, let's face it, they're not Charlotte's most well-known gangs, but they still cause problems. I spent 4 weeks this summer with undercover gang detectives as they tried to get some of the guys from those gangs I just mentioned behind bars.
Please get the face.
Wendell Holmes is not so appreciative of us watching him get arrested for 2 felony marijuana charges and resisting police.
So there is marijuana around.
Gang investigators say Holmes is not in a gang, and yet here they are in Hickory Grove helping make this arrest. Why? Because this summer the gang unit is under new orders. Along with normal duties, do at least one operation for at least a full week in each of the 13 police divisions.
Take a left on Denning.
Sound like a little much? Police say it's necessary, and that though gangs are not growing as fast anymore, gang-related crimes are still happening every day and every night all over Charlotte.
24/7. 24, they don't sleep. And if one sleeps, another one takes over.
We've been with gang detectives this summer as they make arrests, check for tattoos, find drugs, investigate middle-of-the-day break-ins, and come across 2 gangs getting more bold. The East Charlotte Graveyard Gangster Crips.
Graveyard Gangster Crips, they've been around here for a few years. We've known about them.
Are spraying GYGC on buildings and calling out rival gangs. Second gang becoming more high profile are the Asian Boys. They go by ABZ. Officers have dozens of case files on them.
These are the Asian Boys?
Correct.
Do they do this often? Is this sort of one of their MOs to go after and attack random people?
I would defer to that to...
I've never seen them do something this savage.
This is something you've got to see. These undercover officers are releasing this surveillance video to us so you can understand what they mean when they say gangs sometimes pick a victim randomly. A guy waits in line here at the Circle K in West Charlotte. He suspects nothing. Out of nowhere, he's punched 4-on-1. The victim's girlfriend gets out of the car to help. Their toddler is in the back seat watching. Gang investigators immediately red flagged this as the Asian Boys. They said they recognized the faces.
We've definitely identified one for sure.
Officers named Denny Luanpakti as the instigator. When you talk to his parents about him being a gang member, do they believe it?
They know he hangs around with people who he shouldn't hang around with, but they won't admit to any kind of gang.
Good boy.
Yeah.
But he's a good boy.
He's a good boy.
This good boy already has 5 mugshots. And now,
Do you recognize this person here?
after a photo lineup,
You do recognize this person?
Luan Pakdi has his 6th.
Yeah.
And something really scary, we're entering prime recruiting season for gangs.
Prime recruiting. You must be talking school year.
Absolutely, yes. Gangs recruit in schools, that's one prime place. And a lot of gang activities, fights or parties or meeting spots, hangouts, they're all organized while they're in school hallways.
Molly, are you saying that gang crime differs depending on the time of the year?
It does. That's what police say. In a way, property crimes and mischievous type of crimes go up in the summer, but gang detectives say violence, more hardcore violence, that's the kind of stuff they investigate more so during the school year.
During the rest of the school year.
When everybody's together.
Thanks, Molly. Up next, an exclusive interview with Charlotte's chief of police.
One priority at a time, one neighborhood at a time, and I think with that we can keep that focus. I think we can not only reduce crime, but we can help reduce the fear of crime.
Chief Roddy Monroe speaks candidly about what it takes to control crime in our community. That's next on Crime Stoppers, a WBTV News Special.